Now you look at us in the state we in right now, black people on drugs, and we suffering and dying. And I know it seems like you can do whatever you want to this people. I know it seems like this, but the time for glorifying yourself is soon at an
Straight out of hell.
2022, we still dying in the ghetto. We still dying in the reservation. We still dying in the burial.
Coming straight out of hell.
Christianity has failed us. Voting has failed us. Begging and pleading for a life has failed us. Loving everybody has failed
Straight
us.
out of hell.
Over 1,000 years later, we still begging and pleading to the oppressor to let our people go.
Coming straight out of hell.
The white man is the devil, and if he ain't, then who is, man? Never trusting our enemies. It's time to wake up, black man.
Straight out of hell.
Oppression make a wise man mad. I walk the straight gate, never wish the way. What that means, I'm UPK. If you don't keep the laws without work, that ain't faith. Christianity gon' have your body stinking in the gate. Hold up, straight out of hell. Schools to jail cell, voting, protesting, fail. Yo, so iron can inhale, must prevail. Survivor get ate like an animal in the wild. White man is the devil, gotta train up a time. That's right. White lives don't matter to God, that's white lies. And that ain't Christ with blue eyes either, that's white lies. Prepare slaughter, death to all heathens, women and child. Kwame Yasha Allah is
Straight
real on
out
the
of hell.
rise. 2022, we still dying in the ghetto. We still dying in the reservation. We still dying in the burial.
Coming straight out of hell.
Christianity has failed us. Voting has failed us. Begging and pleading for a life has failed us. Loving everybody has failed
Straight
us.
out of hell.
Over 1,000 years later, we still begging and pleading to the oppressor to let our people go.
Coming straight out of hell.
The white man is the devil, and if he ain't, then who is, man? Never trusting our enemy. It's time to wake up, black man.
Straight out of hell.
Live from the ghettos, burials, and reservations. We the Lord chosen people, my nigga, that's revelation. Take ground with observation, feed the nation. Look, come, operation, bring back segregation, separation, perfect hatred. I hate the white man so much, I keep commandments. Fighting for the kingdom, so I make amendments. Watch the way I'm living, be ye perfect as the Father in heaven. We ain't Christian, a mission is Christianity, the works addiction. Submission to white supremacists, warriors turn feminine. Emasculine our sister, this ain't living, my nigga. Shalom. This is a priest military, one West world, take ground, take over type shit, you understand? And we will take over and take back what's ours and what belong to us. Priest military war ready, I ain't never going steady, don't fuck with the goals. Ride on enemies, bomb on enemies, motherfucker, I won't smoke. Priest military war ready, I ain't never going steady, don't fuck with the goals. Ride on enemies, bomb on enemies, motherfucker, I won't smoke. This is what it sounds like when we ride, living in a one West world, take ground. Another man down, fuck boy, stand down. We won't know. This is what it sounds like when we ride, living in a one West world, take ground. Another man down, fuck boy, stand down. Who that want to smoke? Fuck nigga can't match the energy. Ride on enemies. Everybody wanna be top 3. If you ain't one West, you're not these. Shout out, GPK feel it. Hotter than a blicky when I up and I said knees. Take heed for Christianity, white supremacy. The truth will set you free. We don't beg and plead. We don't pray on knees. Bury me, your priest. Friend is on the teams. We don't smoke the weed. We don't sip the lean. Fuck this whole society. We gon' follow after Christ. Got the blood of an Israelite. Cops be killing us. Stay killing us like day and night. That ain't right. One Allah, Habanai, one West, we on the rise, one city at a time, taking songs, nigga, take ground. Kwame Yasha Allah, Prince of the power, no excuses, no cowards, kind of a kind out of Wyam. Yeah, priest military war ready, I ain't never going steady, don't fuck with the goals. Ride on enemies, bomb on enemies, motherfucker, I won't smoke. Priest military war ready, I ain't never going steady, don't fuck with the goals. Ride on enemies, bomb on enemies, motherfucker, I won't smoke. This is what it sounds like when we ride, living in a one West world, take ground. Another man down, fuck boy, stand down. We won't know. This is what it sounds like when we ride, living in a one West world, take ground. Another man down, fuck boy, stand down. See his liquor got me stuck. UPK, we number one. I be mama through the city, putting work. We can sit down, all black, bulletproof. Be the village that they come at the camp, blazing on the double through the shit for fun. Go to line if you wanna die, get your ass down. Get it poppin' with the blicky. Every city in the slum. Not a rapper, I'm a preacher. Niggas dying, no crumbs. You ain't know UPK, we want the word. That's a mo. Fuck the mainstream radio. Bitch, I never sell my soul to the road. I say, yeah, nothing roll mo. I can stop with Louis Vuitton, UPK, Mexico. All about the warfare. One for the foes. Swing down on the mission. One west. I'm living concrete with the script applied. Know my next victim. Ripple, split your fucking running 9 miller. Put respect on my name or all my aqua. Come and get you. Preach military war. Ready, I ain't never gonna steady. Don't fuck with the ghosts. Ride on enemies. Mom on enemies. Motherfucker, I won't smoke. Preach military war. Ready, I ain't never gonna steady. Don't fuck with the ghosts. Ride on enemies. Mom on enemies. I won't smoke. Yeah. Preach military war ready, I ain't never going steady, don't fuck with the ghosts. Ride on enemies, bomb on enemies, motherfucker, I won't smoke. Preach military war ready, I ain't never going steady, don't fuck with the ghosts. Ride on enemies, bomb on enemies, motherfucker, I won't smoke. This what it sounds like when we ride, living in a one West world, take ground. Another man down, fuck boy, stand down. This what it sounds like when we ride, living in a one West world, take ground. Another man down, fuck boy, stand down.
Ha! One West, bitch. You know what it is. 1969, home of the truth. And if you ain't UPK, you in the motherfucking way. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Harlem, New York, 125th Street. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? We the home of the truth, bitch, nigga, what you mean? How you mention One West and didn't mention me? No excuses, no cowards on the soldiers roll with me. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? 144,000, I'm prepared to serve the king. How you mention One West and didn't mention me? Look, I eat, sleep, shit, breathe, UPK every day. Get about that Christian church. One West is the only way for righteous leadership and brotherhood. This the only place. A lot of people say they got it, but we know them bitches fake. So I'll be One West to the death, to the end. UPK versus everybody. All we do is win. Undefeated since 69. Pussy, try again. I'll be damned if we ever lose to the likes of them. Commander Junior Hunter ain't no coward. You know who he is. Held on to this truth with no excuse. That's what he did. Showed us how to build a nation. Every day we put in brick. Get that all put on her head and take an oath and never quit. And I mean that shit. Every word that I'm saying. If you cross the fucking line, I'ma show you I ain't playing. And I stay war ready. Every word that we hanging. And I still rock my shield of David like I'm gang banging. Bitch, we Harlem, New York, 125th Street. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? We the home of the truth, bitch, nigga, what you mean? How you mention One West and didn't mention me? No excuses, no cowards on the soldiers roll with me. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? 144,000, I'm prepared to serve the king. How you mention One West and didn't mention me?
We are live.
We love. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior Hunter. And our mission is to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who they are according to the Bible, and who they are as the true Jews of the Bible.
That's right.
All right, cut that down. And the oppressor is the devil, the Bible speaks of. We also teach that as well, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't mention the blacks being the true Jews without mentioning ISUPK.
That's right.
How you mention UPK and didn't mention me?
Right.
And by me, I mean Commander General Yohana. You understand?
That's right.
Straight up, man. Whenever you say the blacks are the real Jews, you better mention the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana.
Right.
Point blank, period, man. Don't think Kanye West came up with this epiphany on his own. I think Kanye was in his house getting high. So you know what? I've been reading this Bible. Come to find out, we the niggas in the Bible.
Right.
It was the hard work and sacrifice of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana.
Right.
That's where it comes from, man. And what's the title of today's class, man? I forgot. Oh, is he who holds himself not guilty, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, what? What's the title?
And hold themselves not guilty.
Oh, yeah, and hold themselves not guilty. Oh, it's close. It's Zechariah is the whole purpose of
Right.
it. Zechariah 11:5.
So it's all the same in one breath.
I would have put that as the title, but it just wouldn't have made much sense.
Right.
Zechariah 11:5. Y'all wouldn't have clicked in on that. But them to hold themselves not guilty, man. Today we going into a recent article that we came across, man. And it hurts to talk about this article, man. But it needs to be talked about, man.
Right.
And it's the Tulsa Race Massacre.
Right.
The Tulsa, Oklahoma City Massacre, man. Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. And I decided to go into this article because there's a lot of things being said about who the true Jews are of the Bible and things like that. You know what I'm saying? These fake Jews talking about this and that and the Jewish man and still getting reparations and all this other filth, man.
Right.
And the fact of the matter, man, is Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, you are the true Jew of the Bible, man.
Right.
Nobody's going to bring it out except the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, man.
Right.
And this article is talking about how they were excavating and they still finding bodies from the goddamn massacre. They still finding bodies from the Tulsa race war massacres.
Right.
And it wasn't even a race war. You know what it was? It was a caught myself. It wasn't a war. It was an ambush. It was a slaughter.
Right.
For it to be a war, two people got to know that there's a problem.
Right.
And Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, we just refuse to accept that there's a problem with white America.
Right.
Not just white America, but Asian America, Jewish America, whatever you want to say. If they're not Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, there is a problem with it, man. And these ain't my words, man. These is the words of the Lord.
Right.
I'm not making this up, man. This is what the Lord said. The Lord don't want us coming together with these people. The Lord want us separated. Every time we try to come together with these people, they slaughter us.
Right.
Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. They slaughter us. They steal from us. They take what's ours. You know what America is? America is a goddamn bully. They want to bully their way into any and everything. Right now, what they're doing is they're trying to bully you into not believing that you have a goddamn identity, black man.
Right.
So my question is this: Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. If you're not a Jew, then what are you?
Right. It's lucky, sir.
Go ahead.
According to America, we are African Americans, and you better respect that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, soldier.
Oh God, sir. When they have you on the application, they say, "Are you Latin? Are you like Native? Or are you African? Or are you this?"
Right.
That's what they do.
Right. Right. And you better check anything, Gail, on that box. You better not check Jew. That's what you better not do.
Right.
Go ahead, priest.
It's a luck. If I could, like to explain like the way that you explained to me, like when it comes to that term African American, that don't even sound right. When you read that out, that just don't even sound right. Because look at it the same way that you look at it like this. Everybody's been to the zoo before, right?
Right.
And everybody's went to the African exhibit, to the plain exhibit where you know all the African animals are, or the animals that come from Africa. When you look at these animals and you go to the lion exhibit, it doesn't say an American lion. You understand? It don't say no American lions on there. What does it say on there?
Hey, soldier.
You want to handle?
Yeah, go handle that one. My fault. But carry on your point, what you're saying is absolutely right. Everybody gets to keep an identity. Everybody gets to keep a goddamn identity, except you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. When you go to the zoo, It don't say American lion. It don't matter if the lion was born in captivity over here in America. It don't say an American lion. It still says an African lion. Everybody keeps to keep an identity except you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Who was that?
Some sisters in a lot. Brother was showing for class.
Oh, where they going?
I was about to come into this.
They could have came through this door.
Oh, still.
Double time. You understand, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man? You get to keep your identity. And well, Salakia, the animals get to keep their goddamn identity. Everybody else don't. Or not everybody else don't. You don't. Chinese man is still called a Chinese man. He's not called an American. You get what I'm saying? They get to keep their identity.
Yeah, that's why I was doing. I was like, everybody there.
Yeah, sisters don't get patted down. They just, hey, shalom, sis, how you doing? Mariah, sit back there. Yeah, they all right. How you doing, sis? How you doing, little brother? A man sit on this side with the blue chair. Sister sit on this side.
This is my mom.
Most High Christ. Who is this right here? Hey, what's going on, bro? Most High Christ, man. I'm glad y'all showed up today, man. Yeah, Most High Christ. I appreciate that, man. See the spirit on you. How you doing, sis? Also, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for. Today, class, I was going into an article that I came across. It was an article about Tulsa, Oklahoma. They're still finding bodies from the Tulsa, Oklahoma City massacre, or as they call it, the Tulsa race wars, which I was just simply explaining that it wasn't a war. It was absolutely a ambush. In order for us to be at war, we have to know that we have an enemy. And most blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we don't understand that we have enemies. We look at ourselves as the enemy. We look at ourselves as the problem. But when we look at another race, we don't profile them. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like white people, you heard it all the time with, especially with politicians like Hillary Clinton. She said all black kids, right? This brother right here, they're super predators.
Not just regular predators.
Yeah, not just
super
regular
predators.
predators, super predators. You
Dang
ever
it.
seen that damn Predator movie?
Right.
The newest one. Now that's what she said you are, a super predator. You know what I'm saying? You go
Right.
invisible and hunt and behead people, I guess. And they say that about all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian kids, right?
Right.
We're always profiled to the fullest, but we never look at little Timmy and profile little Timmy. We don't see little Timmy and be like, hey, little Timmy might be dangerous.
Right.
But here's the crazy part. It's very simple to break it down. I'll break it down even simpler. So we all stereotype, whether we know it or not, like it or not, understand it or not. We all do it subconsciously, right? So, prime example, if I say a club shooting, what race comes to mind? What? Black people, right?
Right.
Now, if I say a Walmart shooting, what race comes to mind? Right. You get what I'm saying? Black people don't shoot up Walmart.
Or school.
Oh, I was getting to that. Like I said, let's get another one. All right, a gas station robbery. Well, I guess that's not really a good one because devils rob gas stations all the time.
Right.
What's a crime that's specifically towards black people that they stereotype us for doing, like the club shootings? That's about it.
Right.
That's really about it.
I was gonna say carjacking, but then I thought about it. I might because I remember at Quantazar had brought out a story.
Yeah,
he was talking about the Kia boys. Yeah.
A bunch of white kids running around stealing cars.
Right.
They call themselves the Kia boys. You know what I'm saying? They hijacking cars with iPhones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't do stuff like that. Hell, we can barely afford an iPhone, let alone hack it to hack something else. It costs too goddamn much money.
Right.
No, but I just paid $800 for this phone. You think I'm gonna then risk the chance on jailbreaking it to hack into something else? No.
Right.
I'm gonna get the OtterBox case that costs $200 to protect this thing with my life.
Right.
Because we don't have them kind of resources to spend that kind of money on fruitless things. But when you come up in a well-to-do family from generations of wealth, from stealing and pillaging and robbing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you got money to spare.
Right.
You could do stuff like that. So I was gonna say that to say this.
Like the oppressors, they shoot up Walmarts, they shoot up schools, they shoot up music concerts, they shoot up movie theaters, but we never ever profile them.
Right.
Never profile them. I teach my brothers and sisters one simple thing. If the second that you feel comfortable around white people is the second you die.
Right.
If you feel comfortable around them, they're going to kill you. We've seen this whole new spirit on white America since Trump got in office and when he left. They've seen the Karens coming out all on YouTube. You've seen white people telling you how they really feel. Every other goddamn YouTube video, nigger, they saying it like they in a music video now.
Right.
Go ahead, priest.
It's a lot, kid. Just to further add on to that, like I was still running through the articles earlier before we even got to class, and it was just a bunch of like headlines about the Oath Keepers.
Right.
I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing.
Business.
I was about to say I didn't know nothing about them devils before Trump got in office. And then you see the second he got in office, they made their presence known and that they want their leader back in office immediately.
Yeah, so right now what they're saying, this was an article I was going to pull, but I was saving it for the podcast. It's an article on basically everybody's on high alert, getting ready for this election coming up.
Yeah.
Because the white supremacists have already said that they out here, they like, listen, there's going to be problems if Trump don't get back in office.
I think I've seen that too.
Like they ready to fight. We seen what they did. What was that, January 6th?
Yep.
What other nation of people runs into the White House looking to kill people?
I heard they went to go get Olive Garden right after they got done.
Right. That sounds about right. They ran into the White House and only one died that we heard of. That one woman, she got shot by a black cop. I can guarantee you he's not a cop anymore.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because they seek justice for their own.
Right.
But nobody went to jail immediately. There had to be an investigation, even though all of us seen the footage.
Right.
No, they were Facebook Living.
Right.
They told on themselves. They still had to hunt them down. And they Facebook Live them running into the White House.
Right.
Let you do something on Facebook Live, black man. They coming to get you immediately. Well, we know it was on Facebook Live.
They catching people off of their own songs.
Right. Off a rap song.
Who makes you think they won't catch you on Facebook Live?
Right. And we say all that to say this, man. Let me get Zechariah 11:5, mighty man. Read it when you got it. Oh, sorry, Christ. And we say all that to say this, man. Like the oppressor is truly the devil, the Bible speaks of. And when we say devil, we don't mean a little man with a pitchfork. We mean a liar. That's what the word devil means, a liar and deceiver.
Right.
He has lied and deceived blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians for too long. And at this point, if you don't understand this, then what are we going to do? Have to go through another 400 years of slavery and oppression and murder and raping and pillaging for us to understand that we need to come together as a nation, as a people?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We understand it when we in the streets living the gang life.
Right.
We understand coming together then under unrighteousness. Now we need to understand coming together and under righteousness under the Most High in Christ. You got that scripture?
Come, sir. So like Zechariah
11:5.
11:5.
Yep.
Come. This the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse.
No, 11:5.
Come.
Chapter 11, verse 5.
11:5.
Go ahead.
Then the angel.
No. Zechariah 11:5.
You go get it for you real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead and pull it, Shinya.
Come. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Whose possessors slay them.
Whose what?
Whose possessors slay them.
Now, when it says a possession, in order to be a possession in America today is to be a slave.
Right.
Right? Here's how I'm going to prove that we are still slaves in America. Keep going.
And hold themselves not guilty.
Every time an unarmed black, Hispanic, or Native Indian kid is killed, what is the verdict? Not guilty.
Right.
They are automatically deemed not guilty. We have to have a whole goddamn march and an uprising and sign petitions to get somebody convicted for murdering one of us. Go ahead.
Real quick, it's funny that you say that, and when I say funny, I mean utterly sad.
Right.
Like this right here it was disgusting when I had read it. So like I said before, we had got to class. I was scrolling through the articles and stuff like that, and I had seen that there was another case where a devil cop ended up killing another brother, And the thing is, the family had to go through a million loopholes in order to sue this devil.
Right.
The devil didn't serve no time, but he, did get sued. They've sued him for, I think, $4.4 million.
Right, and they sued him personally, not because they basically they was trying to make it to where they couldn't sue the police force.
Yeah, so they sued him specifically.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know how to really describe it. It was just murder. The devil hopped in the car with the brother. I don't know how to even really describe it. So the situation was that somebody had called and said there was a suspicious car, posted up outside. The cop pulls up, hops out of his car, looks over towards the black man. He sees the black man is asleep inside of his car, head on the dashboard like he's slumped.
Right.
Out of it, don't even know what's going on. Devil hops inside of his car, starts tussling with him and stuff, tases him, and then he shoots him 4 times, kills the brother.
Sad. And here's what makes that sad, because I do a lot of traveling. I remember when I was coming from New York. I know what you're thinking. You drove from New York, yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm poor. Couldn't afford a plane ticket. Who the hell can afford a plane ticket? I can't.
Right.
Plane tickets be $2,000.
Right.
Can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? But I can't afford about $300 worth of gas.
Right.
So I'm driving from New York, and it was a long drive. It's about 12 hours, give or take.
Right.
And and the rest stops be so far in between, Mariah. You're gonna have to sit down, baby. Get one and then sit down. My fault. Go sit down. All in the video. Okay, cool out.
Right.
But the rest areas be so far in between that you ain't gonna be able to make it. You be tired.
Right.
So I pulled over at a gas station and passed out. Now just imagine, what I'm saying, you working these late shifts or whatever the case, and you want to risk driving home and get in an accident, or do what a responsible person does and pull over and get about 30 to 40 minutes worth of good sleep real quick.
Right.
And then that's what they tell you to do all the time. And then when you hear stories like this, what can you do as a black person in America? Not a goddamn thing. They just want you to die and do it quietly. They don't even want you to speak about it.
Right.
You can't protest, you can't march, you can't do nothing. It's Black Lives Matter, then it's All Lives Matter, then it's Blue Lives Matter, then it's White Lives Matter, and now the gay movement to hijack the whole thing.
Right.
Now
they got every other day out the
trans
week.
lives matter. They compare being gay to being black in America. Can you believe that? They said being gay is like being black. I said,
Right.
Jesus Christ. Where they do that at?
Right.
You choose to be gay, nigga. You can't choose to be a Negro.
So I was born gay.
Right.
So you don't think I'm born black? I just chose.
Right.
So I was in the womb like this.
So,
No, I don't want to be white. Pick
Right.
that one.
right. So looked out. Oh, they getting home? Yeah, I go with the racist being brutally murdered.
So
You know what I'm
lucky.
saying? The glorious thing about it is this, though. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child, you are the Lord's chosen, though, man.
Right.
They tried to make it seem like being black was a curse when really it's the greatest gift that you could ever receive, man.
Right.
And the proof is in the pudding, man. Like Kanye, one thing Kanye had right was we are the true Jews of the Bible.
That's
And
right.
that the oppressor is a fake Jew. And they call Kanye a lot of things. They calling him crazy. And I forget who I was talking to. I was talking to one of my brothers, though, where, we. Colonel McCon, hey, soldier,
Good doc.
go see who's at the door. Cap, you're watching us on camera. It's creepy.
Other door.
The other door, yeah.
You watching us on
Yeah.
camera. It's creepy.
Now go ahead and see who's at the door. So lock you. But I forget what my story is.
Forgot that
Cap-
thing even existed.
Cap to creep me out
Right.
fast.
Started talking to us. So
Right.
lucky. No, you was talking about the how the gay movement, comparing our
yeah.
suffering, our pain and suffering
Oh, yeah,
to
I
their
was talking about
choices.
Kanye, that's where I was at. Kanye West. So Kanye had a few things right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He said blacks are the real Jews and that the Jewish man is an imposter. He's not a real Jew.
Right.
And of course, they start calling him crazy and saying all these wicked things about him.
Right.
But y'all
Right.
remember,
Cut it down.
Y'all remember when Dave Chappelle was quit the Chappelle show? They start saying he was crazy and this and that. You ever notice whenever black people go against the so-called grain, the first thing they say is that we're crazy and something's wrong with us. and they try to say that we're on drugs and this and that, blase scoop. Like, you ever notice there's a pattern with that? But why? And all of them say the same thing. All of them are the same product. They're like, hey, listen, something's not right here. This is wrong.
Right.
Black people are suffering. Every time you speak about the pain and suffering of black people, you consider crazy.
Right.
They call Kanye crazy. No sweat. But you know what they didn't call Kanye? Yep. They never called him a liar. They never said Kanye was wrong because he's not wrong. It's all through the Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's all through the scriptures, man. And I know how to get way off subject, man, because, well, really it ties back around to it because, like I said, I came across this article with Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jesus Christ, tongue tie.
It'd be like that.
Right? And so they're finding bodies, right? They're still finding bodies. And my thing is this. Who went to prison? Who paid the price behind Black Wall Street burning down? Nobody went to jail. Right. Nobody went to jail. Nobody suffered. They just did a hold your point. Don't forget it. They just did a documentary, right, and did an interview with one of the survivors of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? They put them on camera as an old sister. They put her on camera, asked her questions, and she was telling her side of the story. Of course, it had to be politically correct. She couldn't say what she really felt. Right. Because we seen the unedited interviews where they were saying the oppressor's the goddamn devil.
Right.
They said these white people is devils, they wicked. They came in here and they did this for nothing. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't really know why they did that in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A lot of people don't know why, and I'll get to why in a minute. But there was nothing that they did to compensate. They're talking about, we're going to compensate them. We're thinking about it.
Right.
Thinking about compensating them. We just might.
Hey, the oppressor's good for thinking.
Yeah, he thinking. But then it made me think about the so-called Jewish man, right? Because one of the big things that they're always talking about is what? What is big in the Jewish community? And they're always talking about their suffering. What's the one thing that happened to the so-called Jewish man? The Holocaust. Yep. Damn right. Clap it up for that sister. She owned it. The Holocaust. Right. They don't never want you to forget the Holocaust.
Right.
The Holocaust. Every time you say something about a Jewish person that they deem anti-Semitic, that's the first thing they bring up, the Holocaust. Well, what about the Holocaust? We died. Hey, listen, I don't remember no niggas being responsible for the Holocaust.
Right.
No niggas were in Germany hunting down so-called Jewish men.
Right.
We weren't there.
Right.
We had nothing to do that. In fact, we were still in slavery. We forget the turn of the 19th century, slavery was just now starting to be abolished, unquote, unquote. We're not even 100 years removed from segregation.
Right.
It ain't even been 100 goddamn years yet. And you talk white race. What does that have to do with black people? But that's just another deterrent. Go ahead. I know you had something you want to bring out, Soldier.
I was going to add on to what you were saying. Like, and what further pushes that, whole agenda with, the Jewish man being so offended by the Holocaust is that they even pushed that so-called hatred, for the Nazis and Germany and Hitler and all that over here to America. They made us his enemy. Like, what do we have to do with it?
Right.
That's all I had to say.
Send Josie Owens out there, beat him in the Olympics, Jesse.
Right.
Run fast, nigga.
Right.
Show him that slave speed. You get what I'm saying? Like, the oppressor is truly the devil, man, and we don't get it. We just don't get it. And I had an article I want to pull up. I might need you to step down so you can pull it on the TV so they can see it as well.
Oh, so I can slide it over there.
Okay, no sweat. So I had an article. Let's get the article. Go ahead and pull it up, the Tulsa, Oklahoma article real quick. Okay. And I wanted to do the numbers, right? I wanted to do the numbers because this is crazy with it. Because you know how you get on social media and you look up one thing and you start to go down a rabbit hole. So 21 new coffins found in a search for Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, right? Now, and of course they always edit in our numbers. If they said it was 21 coffins, I'm guessing it was more like 50.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because they always take our numbers and they bring them down to make it seem like it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It was only 21. Yeah. They bring our numbers down and they boost their numbers up.
Right.
That's what they do every time. So and let's get some on the article. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone so you'll know where I want to go with it.
Come.
They got it on their screen as well.
Yeah.
So this is really sad once you really dig into it, man. And it just don't do nothing but make me more angry, man. And further just it makes my resolve as strong as iron, and knowing what we have to do as a nation to separate from these goddamn heathens, man, because these people are truly heartless.
All right.
Go ahead.
Come on. And that whole situation right there is just disgusting when you sit there and actually think about it.
Right.
Even 400 years later, even all these years later, they are still finding our brothers and sisters buried.
Right. Cut it down.
They are still finding corpses of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the ground.
Right. And this happened in 1921. So let's all right, I want you to scroll down to the bottom. Actually, you can go ahead and read it off of here. I wanted them to see how they digging up the goddamn corpse. They got a crane out there. Not a crane, but what's that called? I forget what that machine is called. It's been a minute.
It's funny because I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, actually, what is that called?
I forget what the machine is called.
Like it.
But you know, that's what they basically move concrete with that thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's a construction tool.
So that goes to show you that they dug a deep hole and buried them deep down. They didn't want these bodies to be found.
Right.
And the next question that came to my mind is, why are they digging up that anyway? Because what do they always do? Just think about America. If I asked you where the Native Indians were buried, where would you tell me? Where is the Native Indian burial site? Do you know, brother, where the Native Indian burial site? Because we know that America was stolen from the Native American Indians, right? And we know over 77 million of them were murdered.
Right.
So the next question is, where do you bury 77 million people? Over 77 million people. Where do you bury them at? Yeah, I mean, you bury them in the ground, but like, where is the burial site at? Like, there is no burial site for Native. You cannot go to, this is a certified burial site of Native American Indians that fought in the war for America. You can't find that nowhere.
Right.
And the reason you can't find that is because everywhere you walk in this city, as well as any other city, you're walking on the bones of the Native American Indians.
That's right.
They paved the roads right over there. Where they died is where they were buried. They didn't bury them. Their bodies were feast for the crows,
right,
for the worms. They didn't bury them. All the downtown is built over the bones of the Native Americans. So whenever you walk around in this city, as well as any other city in America, you're walking on the bones of the Native American Indians.
Right.
They didn't bury them. They paved over them. Go ahead.
It's lucky, like we always bring out at camp, man. Like, America is built off of the sweat, blood, and tears in the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
Like, you always bring it out. Every single step you take, man, you walking on the bones of Native Indians, man.
Right.
Our brothers didn't even get a proper burial site.
It's an old school movie called The Poltergeist. Has anybody ever seen it? Have you ever seen it, sister? An old school movie called The Poltergeist, where it's like the little Caroline's in the TV. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like in that movie, a lot of people don't understand. Like that movie had a lot of, and the oppressor does this in a lot of his movies, put a lot of subliminal messages. The reason their house was haunted was why? Because it was over a burial site. They just totally knocked over the tombstones. They didn't give a damn, never moved the bodies. Because when you excavate a place and you see things like that, what's the first thing you do? You move the bones.
Right.
How do we know this? Because they do it with all the goddamn dinosaur bones they find.
Right.
They put a dinosaur bone in a museum in a heartbeat. But if it's an Indian, if it's a body of a man, pays over it.
Right.
Move, just throw it over there. They don't give a damn about us, man.
Right.
And that's biblical. That's in the scriptures where it talks about how our bodies will be left out for the crows from our goddamn enemies. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor don't give a damn, like we just read in Zechariah, whose oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. They don't charge themselves for crimes. They right now, when you think about it, they over there robbing the Hamite tombs right now in Egypt.
Right.
They grave robbing all day long, and they don't call it grave robbery. They call it excavation.
Right.
They're excavating. Look what we found. You didn't find a goddamn thing. It was a tomb built for nobody to come in. You didn't set off all the booby traps. They make movies about it, like Indiana Jones. He in there running from the big boulders, swinging across rivers of crocodile. He's escaping all the goddamn traps to come out with a piece. Like, oh, look what I found.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's called tomb robbing. But when they do it, it's always like some hero stuff, right? The oppressor is a devil, man. When you do it, it's a crime. When he do it, it's, he's an adventurous.
Right.
And this is what we got to get through our heads, man. Like, he is a world-renowned criminal. He is the criminal of all criminals, man.
Right.
And if you would read that part in the article where it talks about that last part.
My fault, I screwed up.
Yeah, no sweat. I'll find it for you.
A violent white mob.
Yeah, let's pick up right there.
Yep. A violent white mob target.
Hold on.
Come on.
Don't read it too fast. Say that again.
A violent white mob.
No. And this is how you know, because they said a violent white mob. This is how they should have written it.
Right.
A murderous gang of white supremacists.
Right.
That's how it should have been written. A murderous gang of white supremacists is how this article should have been written. Because it ain't what you say, it's always how you say it.
Right.
Whenever they talk about our children, right? We're thugs, we're gangsters, we're criminals. But then whenever you see white people, they win a Super Bowl in a city, they go tear up the whole goddamn city, right? They just be like, look at these enthusiastic fans.
Right.
Look at these enthusiastic fans. Yeah, little white kids will be white kids. No big deal.
Right.
No big deal. Yeah, they destroyed half the city. No big deal. But whenever our kids do that, whenever black kids do it, is look at these criminals.
Right.
Look at these violent hooligans. So we always got to pay attention to how it's written. They said violent. It's more than violent. They
murderous.
They murdered people.
Right.
That's beyond violent. That's literally a murderer.
Right.
But they didn't want to use that word
right.
to describe they people. It's violent. Violent is what? Violent is what? Being mad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could push somebody down and that would be considered violent.
Right.
This was beyond violent. This was absolute murder.
Right.
This was them trying to do a baby genocide. Go ahead. Let's get the rest.
A violent white mob targeted black people during the massacre in which more than 1,000 homes were burned and hundreds were looted.
All right, read that again. How many homes were burned?
1,000 homes were burned.
Keep going.
Hundreds were looted. And a thriving business district known as Black Wall Street was destroyed. Historians have estimated the death toll at 75 to 300.
This is where they say our death toll was. From 75 to 300 people died. They just told you a goddamn 1,000 homes were burned down and only 75 people died. And they just said they found how many bodies right there? 21 more bodies found. And you want me to believe that it was the lowest number was 75 and the highest was 300? Get the hell out of here. And the sad part is this, we believe stuff like that.
Right.
Once more, nobody has ever answered for these crimes. This took place in 1921, right? 1921. Nobody was ever convicted. Nobody was ever charged. They're not hunting down old war criminals from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Even though they got old survivors and they put them and they give them interviews, no one has ever received any reparations, right?
Right.
All right. Now that we got that clear, go ahead and pull that article down. And I want you to pull the other one up, but not just yet. Go ahead and pull that one down. So that's what I wanted to pull out. And there's some other things on that article, but I don't want to get too deep into it because I want to talk about the timeline, right? So this is 1921. Does anybody know when the Holocaust happened? So the Holocaust happened during 1941, right? This is when the so-called Holocaust happened. And if you would, Shanyan, would you Google that just to make sure my timeline is right on that? Google Holocaust. Matter of fact, I'll do it. But I believe that happened during 1941.
This sounds about right. But let's double check.
Just to make sure my timeline. Because it was during, anybody remember what event it was during? What war we were in? Yep, World War II. So that's about 1945, right? So in 1945, for it's about from 1940 to 1945 is the Holocaust. They say that the number for the Holocaust victims, right? Y'all want to give a guess how many people died during the Holocaust?
I got the year.
What they say?
What's the year?
It says June 1st of 1942.
1942. And it ended about 45, right? So what's that, 3 years?
Yep.
3 years. Does anybody want to give a guess to how many so-called Jewish people died during the Holocaust?
They say 100.
None.
1,000.
None. They said over 6 million. Hear me out. They said over 6 million so-called Jews died during the Holocaust. That's what they said. Now, I have another question. Now, this was during a 3-year period?
Yeah.
How long did this transatlantic slave trade last?
Still happening.
Yeah, it's still happening, but according to white history, right? Let's just go by white history. How long did the transatlantic slave trade happen? Y'all know this. We say it all the time.
What, 400 years?
Yep.
400 years, right? A little bit over 400 years, right? So the transatlantic slave trade happened it was 400 years worth of enslaving Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. How many people do you think they said died during the transatlantic slave trade, according to white history? Now, mind you, in 3 years, so-called 6 million Jews died in 3 years.
So look, if I could, hey, Tommy Smith said it wasn't even that many people in the country, probably.
Right? Really, it wasn't.
Right.
It really wasn't that many devils in that country. But they saying over 6 million so-called Jewish people died. They got
Right.
Holocaust museums, and we're gonna get into the details of that later. We're gonna get into the details. So they saying 6 million so-called Jewish men died. So my next question is, over the course of 400 years plus, how many Black people do you think they said died during the Atlantic slave trade? It's gonna blow your mind when I tell you the numbers. You gotta remember, this is the oppressor. They just said they found 21 new bodies,
Right.
quote unquote.
What? Salakia. What is there? 12,000?
No, it's in the millions.
12 million?
No, yeah, it's the numbers in the millions, just to give you a hint. Nope. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to
I
you.
said, Quaduck, you was closer with your answer. You said 12 million.
Oh, God.
No, so they said 10 million Blacks people died during the Atlantic slave trade. Now just think
Over
about
the
that.
course of
400 years of
Right.
slavery. They say only 10 million died, but over the course of 3 years, 6 million died
right,
during the Holocaust.
right.
Cause the math ain't mathing right. How you say it?
No, you said it.
Yeah,
The math ain't math.
The math ain't mathing. The math is not mathing. So you want me to believe over the course of 3 years, 6 million Jews died, but over the course of 400 years, only 10 million of us died.
Right.
And listen, we did the research. We know the number. There was over 99 million Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that died in the transatlantic slave trade. That's the
right.
ones that died on the route into slavery.
Right.
Over 99 million. Now, we also know, according to the numbers, over 77 million Native Americans were murdered
Right.
here in the United States. Over 77 million. The math ain't mathing right. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But so my next question is this. If you will, pull the next article.
Come on.
My next question is this. So we know nobody paid for the crimes of the Atlantic slave trade, of the Atlantic slave trade, right? We know nobody paid for the crimes of that. But I have a question. Who paid for the crimes of the so-called Jewish man?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany did.
Yep.
They're still hunting down war criminals to this day who is responsible for the Holocaust. They finding them. They still finding them. They made a whole goddamn documentary about it. It was one on Hulu and one on Amazon Prime. I watched a little bit of both of them. I couldn't stomach it. I'm like, man, these devils is the worst.
Did you send me that article? This one?
Yeah. To
my
send it
personal
to you on
one.
your phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. I'm about to send it to your phone right now.
What?
But they get justice for their people. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
They get justice. They hunt down war criminals right now as we speak. That's responsible for the so-called Holocaust.
Right.
And let's say they didn't. Let's say they didn't hunt down nobody. Right. Here's what they do. they make sure they separate the same people that murdered them. They make sure they separate them. They don't kill them together.
Right.
So we know the so-called German man, the German, right, is responsible for what happened to the Jewish man, right?
Right.
You know, Jewish people don't even buy German cars. They don't drink German beer. They don't do anything that has to do with them people that are totally segregated from them, right? You will never hear about a German teacher teaching a little so-called Jewish boy anything about his history.
Right.
But yet and still, the same people that enslaved us, we got to go to their schools. They teach us about our history. We got to work for them. Why are we still up under the same people that murdered us, that raped us, that pillaged us, that robbed us? Why are we still up under their boot heel?
Right.
Nobody else suffers like that. Why do we have to suffer like that? So my next question is this. Okay, and we see that they just found more bodies in the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, right? What did they do for them people who survived the Tulsa, Oklahoma? They talked about all the homes they burned down. What was the compensation for that? Huh? Yeah. So they never got. Basically, them keeping their lives was the compensation.
Right.
They never got anything to help them get back on their feet. Like they called it Black Wall Street for a reason, because it was thriving. And then think about the time period, right? 1921, right? What else happened in the 1920s? No sweat. The Great Depression. Y'all remember that? The Great Depression, where rich white people were flinging themselves off of skyscrapers because they went broke. It was, the Great Depression affected all of America. That's when they was having that, what did they call it? Where they tried to ban alcohol and stuff like that. What was that called?
Boycott.
No, but I forget. It was something else. I forget the actual name that they used, but alcohol became illegal, tobacco became illegal, stuff like that. And white people, they took pride in that. And what did they call it? Smuggling alcohol, doing I don't want to say bootlegging.
Yeah.
Bootlegging. Yeah, bootlegging the gin and all that. Moonshine. That's where the whole concept of moonshine comes from, because they were making alcohol and illegal and all that kind of stuff. All that was happening during the time of the Great Depression. The Great Depression was happening in the 1920s, right? Like 1915 up to the 1920s on into the 1930s, give or take, right? But guess who was thriving during all that time? Black Wall Street. And it wasn't just Black Wall Street. We had Rosewood. We had hundreds of black cities that were everywhere that were thriving. Because why? Because black people, we were fresh out of slavery, quote unquote, and we were the only people with the skills. We were the only people with skill sets. We had all the skill sets because the white man didn't have any skill sets. Why not? Because he had slaves.
Right.
I don't need to know how to make nothing or do nothing. I'm gonna beat your goddamn back, and you gonna do it.
Right.
Nigger, lemonade. Like he didn't know how to do nothing. We had all the skill sets. So once we got free, we had all the skill sets, and the product still needed to be pushed. So we were the only ones making the product. We were the only ones making the revenue. And the white man seen that and couldn't take it. That's the real reason Black Wall Street got burned down.
Right.
It wasn't about no, as they always try to say, a black man raped a white woman. We know goddamn well that wasn't the case. You get what I'm saying? The white man was the one coming into Black Wall Street trying to get with our women. He's always done it. He's always raped our women, lusted after our women. You get what I'm saying? That was always a thing for him. They hated the fact that the white woman wanted to be with the white man. Even when you look at these so-called, it's a movement. They call it swirling, like the ice cream, right? Where they trying to push interracial couples. And the reason they're trying to push these interracial couples, and I'm gonna do a class on this later on. You'll see a lot of white women. They purposely telling you, like they tell you, I prefer black men. They're like, why do you prefer black men? And they like, so my genes could carry on, because the white man knows his gene is a recessive gene. His gene is a recessive gene, which means that it's not as strong as yours, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman. You get what I'm saying? The white race is the only race that is at a negative birth rate.
Right.
Negative birth rate, which means that he's barely staying afloat. You get what I'm saying? That's why in our neighborhoods, you see all the abortion clinics, but in their neighborhoods, you see fertility clinics.
Right.
You'll never find a Planned Parenthood in a white neighborhood. Go out to Geist, go out to Beach Grove, go out to them predominantly white areas, Zion, Zionsville, all these white areas. You will never find an abortion clinic. You can Google it. You won't find an abortion clinic in none of them predominantly white neighborhoods, areas, towns. You won't find one. You will find fertility clinics.
Right.
If you want to, you know what I'm saying, you want to Planned Parenthood, just drive right down 38th Street. It's one right there on Meridian.
Right.
38th and Meridian. You only find them in the ghettos. You're not going to find them in a white neighborhood because they don't do that. Even now with this abortion laws that they're trying to kill abortions, that's not for you, black man, black woman. That's to stop the white woman from getting abortions.
Right.
Because they are at a zero birth rate. And that's the whole purpose of all them white supremacist groups marching, talking about you won't replace us. You get what I'm saying? They want to keep thriving. That's why they voted for Trump. That's why Trump got in there with no problem, because he was an open racist and he was all about building his race up. So the question is this: when are we going to be about building our race up? We ain't got time to be feeling sorry for these devils, man. And I say that to say this, to lead into this, because they're all about building their race up. Because it don't matter where a devil is at. Like, we see this war going on between Ukraine and Russia, right? What did America do? America immediately went over there and got them people from Ukraine and brought them over here.
Right.
But do y'all remember when the refugees from the where was they from?
I believe that was from.
They was their Haitian brothers.
Yeah, I know.
It was from Haiti.
Yep.
And they came over here and he was up under that bridge. They immediately kicked them right back out of here. They immediately kicked them right out of here. They didn't let them brothers stay.
They didn't even kick him out. They denied him access.
Right. Chased them down on horses.
Yeah.
They did all that. Put them up under a bridge.
Oh,
right
man.
Now, as we speak, they got Mexican kids in concentration camps on the border.
And so, like, if I could,
Go
like,
ahead.
people don't even talk about that. They don't talk about how racially motivated that was.
Right.
You don't even have the
Where's-
decency to chase him down in cars. You
where's-
chase him down on horseback with whips.
Where's the anti-Semitic talk about that?
Right.
But you worried about what Kanye said, and what Kanye said is proven.
Right.
It's proven. He said blacks are the real Jews, and the so-called Jewish man runs everything. We've already traced it down. There's a handful of Jews that own like 90% of the goddamn music industry and movie industry.
Right. Movies and banks.
Man banks. They own it all. How is this possible? That's what I'm here for. I'm about to show you. You got that article?
Come.
All right. So we already cleared up that nobody paid for the crimes of black people in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Little girl, sit down. We already made it clear that nobody paid for the crimes. And we got to figure out what's up with the money. That's what I want to know now. Okay, where the money at? So starting this article right here. Start at this part. Since 1985.
Come.
So this is what's going on with the so-called Jewish man, right? So the Jewish man, we know the so-called Holocaust, right? The Holocaust, 6 million died. They were distraught. They need to rebuild their nation. They were almost destroyed. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
Let's figure out what the U.S. government did to help them. Let's get it.
Come. Since 1985, the United States has provided nearly U.S. $3 billion.
Oh, don't read that too fast. Since when?
Since 1985.
Since 1985. Jesus Christ. Go ahead. That's about 35 years? 37?
Yeah.
37 years? Damn, they're 40 years?
Yeah.
Keep going. So for 40 years almost.
The United States has provided nearly $3 billion.
How much?
$3 billion.
No, America's broke. I see that all the time on how this country's in debt. We broke, right? America's broke.
$3 billion.
$3 billion.
In annual grants to Israel.
And what? How many? How much? How often?
$3 billion in annual grants.
Annual grants, which means this is happening every year. Every year. I'll say that again. Every year, they're giving a Jewish man $3 billion. $3 billion every year. Keep going.
To Israel, which has been the largest recipient of annual American aid from 1976 to 2004. And
In
the
case you wondering about that timeline, so we was always been in war. So 76, there's always been some type of conflict, some type of war, especially in the Middle East, right? 2004, that's the height of the so-called war on terror in Iraq. So all that oil money and all that stuff, remember weapons of mass destruction, and America went through a so-called recession because we just called it being poor where I'm from. I'm from the hood. We never knew it was a special word for being poor. The white man called it a recession. We just called it poor. I didn't know it was a fancy word for it. So that means I've been in a recession my whole damn life. Never knew it.
Right.
But but in the same time that we in this so-called recession, they're not providing any aid or any kind of substance for the ghettos, for the blacks, for the Hispanics, for the Native Indians, right? We don't have anything. They're providing all this goddamn money to the so-called Jewish man. Keep going.
Come. And so, like, if I could,
Go ahead,
to
Bruce.
further add on to that, like, I remember you had brought out an article, this is a while ago, but it still stands, like how America swept down that, we broke and we don't have anything to give to blacks, Hispanics, and Native
They gave
Indians.
60 billion in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
$6.5 billion to Africa,
Yeah,
to them Hamites over there. But America's broke.
right. So and also, we're gonna get into it in the article. Let's get some more.
Come. Lucky.
Go ahead.
And the largest cumulative recipient of aid, 146 billion, not inflation adjusted,
Right.
since World War II.
So we just ran over what happened during the Holocaust, when the Holocaust was. The Holocaust was during World War II. So since 1942, they have been just straight cashing them out with the money. Just and once more, and I say all this to say this: if they want to take care of the so-called Jewish man, right? You want to take care of the Jew. Who is the real Jew? Black people.
That's right.
We are the true Jews, but we're not receiving any of this benefits. So, and I was saying that to say this, man. Like the article goes on about how much money that they're providing to the so-called Jewish man. And with that being said, now you see why Kanye, I don't know if y'all seen what Kanye was saying, but he was saying like how the Jewish man controls so much of the wealth, and especially in like black entertainment, black money, black everything. Like the Jewish man, there's a Jewish man in every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian contract that's a professional entertainer. And when I say that, I mean a rapper, a football player, a basketball player. You get what I'm saying? And so I say all that to say this. So if they're doing all that and they're taking care of the Jews, now my question is this: who are the real Jews? We ain't gonna take my word for it. We're gonna pull it in the Bible, man. We're gonna find out what the Jews look like. Let's get Psalms 1 and 5.
Come.
Because we forget, and this is the thing, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, we got to know who we are as a nation, man, as a nation. And if anybody got any questions, of course, they don't have to be about this. Any questions about anything, for us the Bible concerned, don't hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? So while he's pulling that,
Psalms 1 and 5.
let me get Job 30 and 30. Start there.
Come.
Yeah, I meant Songs of Solomon. That's where I wanted.
Okay.
But let's get Job 30 and 30. And I'm going to go to the book of Deuteronomy.
30 and 30. I got you.
Yep. Do you think?
This is the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. His skin is black.
Read that
Salakia.
again. It said my skin.
Yeah, that's why I was like Salakia. This is the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black.
Read that again.
My skin is black.
My skin is what?
My skin is black
Keep going.
upon me.
Stop there. Let me ask you something. What nation of people has black skin? And I can't really say that. I don't know if we got the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. See if it's over there, because it ain't just about having black skin, of course, but this is a description, and I'm gonna get why this is an important description, because when it goes to Revelations, right? Revelations 13 and 1, when it talks about Christ, it says that his skin is as bronze, as if it burned in the furnace. When you burn something, it's black. So Christ wasn't just black, but he was Wesley Snipes complexion. You get what I'm saying? He was a nigga with woolly hair. It's only one nation of people that has woolly hair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's probably in a camp bag. That'll work. Put a definition of him in that one. Put a definition of him. Because we always hear this black people are from Africa stuff, right? But black people, we are not from Africa. We're from Jerusalem. Now, this is a whole nother story, and we get into this later on. But the reason we ended up in Africa is because we fled Jerusalem running from the Romans, because the Romans were killing every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian that they could find.
Right.
Why? Because we wouldn't convert to what? Christianity. We wouldn't convert to their beliefs because we knew who our God was. Like Christianity is a religion that was forced upon us. And you can go through us, you can go through whatever Bible you want to go through all day long. You will never see in that Bible where Christ called himself a Christian.
Right.
Christ never called himself a Christian. In fact, when they start calling Christ a Christian, they called him a Christian as a term of disrespect.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then just like how we get called derogatory terms and we take it and embrace it, then he started embracing it. Not him, but the disciples. Yeah, we Christians. We serve Christ. Yeah, we be a Christian. It's like, hey, yeah, man, I'm a nigga. Yeah, me and my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like we take them bywords and turn them into terms of endearment. So Christians started off being something disrespectful that they were calling Christ. And then the disciples turned it into, yeah, we serve Christ. You're absolutely right. We serve the Most High. They turned it into a good thing. You get what I'm saying? But Christ never called himself a Christian. He said, I'm here to find the lost sheep of the house of Israel and to raise up my people, to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. He never was a part of a religion.
Right.
Because being an Israelite is not a religion. Like people say that this is a religious organization. We're not. This is a nationality. This is home. Because everybody on the face of this planet has a nationality.
Right.
But whenever we're asked what our nationality is, we say black, we give you a color, we'll give you a religion, and we'll give you a hood. Those are the three things we'll give you. Because we can't give you a birthright because we don't know our birthright.
Right.
It was taken from us. We got people pretending to be us. You got that definition?
Come.
So even though it says my skin is black, it's saying that because we fled to Africa to blend in with the Africans, because the Africans look like us, even though they're not us. So we ran there to hide. There's no way, if Christ was a white boy, how the hell was he gonna hide in Africa? If the Jews were white, how the hell were they gonna hide in Africa? To show me these same Jews, show me these same so-called Jews that's in Africa now. Show them to me. Where they at through the history?
Right.
It wasn't them. It was us. And then we got sent into the Atlantic slave trade by the Hamites because we weren't their people. You're not about to sell your brother or your mother into slavery.
Right.
Who the hell does that? You can believe that narrative if you want to that's been pushed. Black people sold black people. They sold their own family. No,
Right.
they did not. That is not our spirit. He ain't about to sell our goddamn family.
So no matter how much we bickering.
Nigga, listen, we won't even snitch on a nigga in the hood knowing he committed a crime in front of us.
Right.
We gonna say no snitching. If we won't even tell on a nigga in the ghetto, what makes you think we gonna sell a nigga into slavery?
Right.
Don't make sense. We our enemies sold us. And I'm
Right.
gonna pull that in Deuteronomy as well. You got that?
Come.
So this is the difference between us and Africans. Go ahead.
The youngest son of Noah.
Let them know what you're reading.
Come. Reading in the compact. Slocky.
This is Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Yep, the Zondervan Bible Compact Bible Dictionary. So
Compact just because it's small.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
And let them know the definition of Ham. So Ham is the son of is the brother of Shem, because black people, we come from the bloodline of Shem, which we're going to get into in just a second. So Ham, go ahead, read it. It's going to let you know his bloodline.
It's the definition of him. The youngest son of Noah.
The youngest son of who?
The youngest son of Noah.
Keep going.
Born probably about 96 years before the flood.
Keep going.
And one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark race, not the Negroes, but
read that again.
Come on. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Read that one more time. Is anybody catching that? They said he became the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. No. We're about to read it. So Africans ain't called Negroes.
Right.
There's a difference between Africans and Negroes. Negroes were the ones sold into slavery.
Yeah.
We're the niggas. Go ahead, Mighty Man.
Right, turn around.
It's talking about the skin color.
Well, I'm gonna get to that in a second. That's true too. Negro is considered a complexion, but in this statement right here, it's talking about a certain group of people. You get what I'm saying? If you would, go ahead and read.
Come on. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians.
But the who?
But the Egyptians.
Keep going.
It's lucky. The Ethiopians.
No, let me see.
I don't know how you really pronounce the word.
Ethiopians.
Ethiopians. I knew that.
So lucky. You went to public school. Don't mind him. So the Egyptians,
right?
Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians.
Right.
Start calling them from now on.
Right. So what country are you from? Ethiopia. You mean Ethiopians?
So the Ethiopians.
So it's telling you that Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. The Egyptians, the Ethiopians, keep going.
The Libyans.
Libyans.
And Canaanites.
Canaanites.
It's lucky.
Is there any more?
Nope, that's it on that. I was trying to read the word.
So it's telling you the countries or the people that he fathered. He didn't father the Negroes. We're a different people. It's the same difference between lions and tigers. That's why when you see Hamites or Africans to this day, they don't mess with you. They don't connect to you. They don't live in the ghettos, and if they do, they make it a point not to communicate with you. They make it a point bare minimum. If they speak to you, that's about it. Hey, they're not inviting you over. They're not trying to be a part of you at all. You get what I'm saying? That's why you've also never seen an African kid gunned down in the streets by the police.
Right.
Never seen an African mother on TV. Oh my God, I can't believe it. They killed Matumbo. You've never seen that.
Right.
You only see our women out there crying over their dead babies. Everybody knows who they are except us. Everybody knows, man. Go ahead, Soldier Salaki.
It was all like, okay, like, you know, I was from the ghetto and stuff like that. And then it was always this guy. Like, we used to, like, throw football with all of them. And it was always, like, this little guy. And his name was Azu. We didn't know that right then. We didn't know it was African.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But her mom, we used to look and then see, like, what is she talking about? Like, why is she saying this to him and stuff like that to him? And then we'll be like, oh, he ain't really trying to deal with us.
Right.
We knew right there, the Africans,
they don't deal with us.
They don't fuck with us.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of funny because just down to the names, you could already tell that they are not of us. Right. Because it's funny. He was just talking about when he was younger. It's a remind me. I'm like, when I used to go to this my elementary school, CFI, and while I was there, this one Hamite had transferred over there for like my last year that I was there. And tell me why. Everybody got to know him and stuff. And I didn't know his name for like half of the year. And when I finally did learn his name, tell me why this Hamite's name was Just Scar. Just Scar. That don't even sound like that right there. Just should go and tell you. That should be a clear-cut indicator that is not a nigga.
Right. And here's what we don't get. The reason why is because they are free men and they carry their traditional names.
Right.
Right? They carry their traditional names. Like Barack Obama, right? The president, Barack Obama. I got a question. Have you ever went to school with a nigga named Barack Obama?
Right.
A black man named Barack Obama. Have you ever? That's how you know he wasn't one of us.
Right.
He let you know that he was African. He let you know, man, I'm Kenyan born.
Right.
He said, and he gave a speech one day where he was like, my forefathers didn't suffer under the same oppression that your forefathers did. He said, my wife's forefathers did. She's black. He said, I'm African. We didn't suffer. They know that they are not the same. When are we going to know? And here's the crazy part, man. The book of Deuteronomy. I'm about to get into it. Deuteronomy 28:1. Pull it up, Shinyan. Deuteronomy 28:1. And this is Moses, of course, telling you what's going to happen if we don't serve the Most High. And I'm gonna read some of these curses, man. And it's gonna hit home when you really listen to it. And once more, if y'all got any questions about anything, about any scriptures, about anything in your life, it don't matter what it is. That's what I'm here for. Because what we don't realize is that our lives is related to this Bible.
That's true.
Our lives is written in these scriptures. This Bible, and I'm gonna quit using this word, but it's gonna be my last time saying it. This Bible is a nigga book.
Right.
It's like that Tupac CD for me and my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Only for my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that in Deuteronomy.
Come on, Ken, I got it. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently, Salakia, unto the Lord, unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if you listen to the Lord, go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
And this is what I'm doing right now. This is what we want. We want to hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord, so all these great things can happen. Keep going.
Which I command thee this day.
That's Moses talking about right then and there, and it carries over even to this day. Keep going.
That the Lord thy God.
Who God?
Thy God.
Who God?
Thy God.
Can anybody break that down? Thy God. What does that mean? No sweat. So when it says thy God, go ahead.
Kudaki has something to say?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Because it's a precept to that, right? Other one?
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of precepts to it.
Right.
It's a couple of precepts to it. But you ain't got to pull it. I just need you to paraphrase it. When it says thy God, it's talking about a specific group of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High ain't everybody's God.
Right.
Prime example, everybody else God looks like them. The Chinese God looks like the Chinese man. The African God looks like the African man. The
Korean man looks like the Korean man.
Right. The Korean God looks like the Korean man. The white man God looks like the white man.
Right.
And then here we are in captivity. Our God looks like the white man. And we don't find that at all suspicious.
Right.
Go ahead, soldier.
Come, sir. That would be Joel 2:27.
Let's get it.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
Yeah.
And that I am the Lord your God.
Damn right. Damn right. And another precept would be, you know what I'm saying? I have not dealt so with any other nation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't deal with these other nations. Like, and we know this. Listen, I had, you know, my mom was from the hood too. We all, you know how black mothers are raising us. How many times have you tried to do something that somebody else did, get caught, and the first thing your mama say, I know you said this, Mom, look, you can't do what everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? You be like, well, why did you do such and such? Oh, my friends were doing it. And would you say, well, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff too? Right? If all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you do it? And you like, hell no. When you like, well, you can't do what everybody else do. And we thought that this was just some old Negro spiritual stuff that our moms came up out of nowhere. We didn't realize that this was biblical. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, listen, I am your God. And you can't do what everybody else do. You do what the hell I tell you to do. That's what the Most High said. You understand? And that's just runs deep in the black woman's DNA when she's trying to raise them babies the right way. You understand?
Right.
You do what I tell you to do. You do what the Lord said to do. Go ahead, soldier.
Oh, God, sir. And none else.
Now, everybody else.
And none else.
No, the white man too.
and none else.
Let me tell you something. The white man got Zeus, he got Thor, he got whoever, all them Greek gods. He got a lot of them. He can have all them.
Right.
But our God is the one true God, the living God.
That's
He
right.
ain't the God of the dead. He's the God of the living.
That's right.
You understand? And that's our God, man. That is our power. And every other nation knows it but us. Why you think it's such a push on our nation, on our people, to turn them homosexual, to keep them in the streets, to keep them on drugs, to keep them doing all these things that are wicked? Yeah, wickedness is at an all-time high, and it's only directed towards one nation of people.
Right.
Listen to the rap music. You will never hear a song about killing Chinese people, about killing African people, about doing all the wicked stuff is directed towards one people. You can't tell me that's good music.
Right.
It's good for business. It'd be good for, if it's good for us, why come it can't be good for everybody else?
Right.
Why come we can't have songs about killing a white man? All of a sudden, that's anti-Semitic. I like songs about killing white people.
Right.
I enjoy them. Selling white people drugs. Why come we can't have songs like that?
So all of a sudden it's racist or hate
Destroying
speech
white
now.
people in neighborhoods. Why come we can't have songs like that? That's a problem then, huh? It's a problem. You can't even call the so-called Jewish man a fake Jew, and it's considered hate speech. Well, all of the rap industry is nothing but hate speech when it comes to black people. What's worse, sir? Hate speech or actual hate crimes? Because hate crimes are committed against us every damn day. And nobody does a damn thing about it or have nothing to say. Shh, nigga, die quietly. Go ahead, Priest.
I was gonna say, Kumpar said Amos 3:1.
Amos 3:1. Damn right. You go ahead and pull it if you want to.
Come on.
Amos 3:1, and then jump right back to Deuteronomy. So, and I want to get a couple of scriptures from Deuteronomy where it talks about what we can have, and that's what this organization is built off of. This organization is built off of serving the Most High because we know what we can be. We don't need the oppressor for nothing. The only thing I need is y'all. If all of us are on the same accord, we in business. And it ain't gonna be in the same accord by what I want to do. It's not gonna be in the same accord by what you want to do. It's gonna be in the same accord by what the Most High wants us to do. And because we have to have something to govern us. Because what I deem as right might not be the same as what you deem as right.
Right.
But we know one thing that's always been right, and that's the Most High. And if we do exactly what He tell us to do and handle things the way that He tell us to handle it, there will never be any strife between us. Even when there is strife, He tells us how to handle it. He tells me if I got a problem with you and I got a problem with you, I go to you and you alone, and I say, hey, brother, you offended me when you did that, man. You know what I'm saying? No, that wasn't cool. You was, joning on me like that, roasting me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You made me feel bad. And you know what I'm saying? And if he be like, hey, man, it wasn't that. I was just kidding with you. My bad. You know what I'm saying? You my brother. I appreciate you. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. I was just having a little fun. You know what I'm saying? Then that's the end of that. But if you be like, yeah, nigga, I'm going to roast you again. Every time I see you, I'm going to roast you. I'm going to be like, no sweat. That's what we have the elders for.
Right.
I take it to the elders. The elders rule over and they say, listen, this is how this is going to be. This is how that's going to be. And we accept their judgment.
Right.
It was a time when we used to accept the judgment of the elders. Now we don't, especially this younger generation. And I get why. I see why. Because there's no more justice. Because there's nothing guiding the elders anymore. The elders is wilding out. Does that mean that the younger generation should disrespect them? Absolutely not.
Right.
What that means is that we have to get back on the same accord by serving the Most High.
Right.
And that way we'll put everything in its proper perspective. Everything will align the right way and we will all be good to go.
Right.
And that's what it's about, man. Because if we don't, and you want to do your thing, and you want to do your thing, and he want to do his thing, I want to do my thing, we're going to keep dying out here. And the whole time that we doing our own thing, guess what our enemies is doing?
Plotting against us.
Our enemies is like this.
Right.
This is how they fighting. This is how our enemies are. We can't do nothing like this. Nobody on the face of this planet has ever punched anybody like this. You're going to break all your fingers.
Right.
And that's what happens when we're divided. When we're divided, we can't fight. You going to fight somebody like this? Back up. No, it's not going to happen. You have to be a fist. You have to come together in order to fight. You have to be a unit. We have to be a family. We have to be a nation.
Right.
You have to be. The oppressor is, you ain't never, on the face of this planet, you ain't never seen a homeless Chinese person. You ain't never seen a Chinese person with their cup.
It's funny that you say that because I've actually never seen it before.
You've never seen it. Chinese people come here, and where the first place they go? To Chinatown. Because
Right.
there's one in every major city, and they don't speak the language, but they know to go to Chinatown and get a job with their people. Make
Right.
people take care of their own. You know what I'm saying? You've never seen a homeless African. All these people come together. They come together and they get money off of our backs. You know what I'm saying? They come together like this, man. They like that. What's the January 6th?
Yeah.
When all the white people marched on the U.S. Capitol. All the white they had money. They wasn't fighting for them. Them people is cool. They good to go. They wasn't fighting for themselves. They was fighting for their future generation.
Right.
They was fighting to make America great again. And every time I hear a white person say "Make America Great Again," I agree with them. I say, "You absolutely right, Mr. White Man. When are you leaving? You need
Right.
some help packing up? We'll help you move. We'll help you go back to your land because this is not the white man's land.
Right.
There's nobody that's a more illegal immigrant than him. But
Right.
yet and still, he's kicking out the Mexicans. He's kicking out every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian that doesn't have a so-called green card. When at the same time, we see all these Chinese coming in, we see all these Africans coming in, we see all these Arabs coming in, we see all
Right.
these Muslims coming in, we see all these other nations come in, and nobody's more illegal than them. We got the paperwork to prove it.
Right.
We see the census reports. We know what's going on, but we don't think about that kind of stuff because we are so focused fighting against each other.
Right.
I'm arguing about you about what gang you from. Why you got on all that blue, cuz? That's what I'm fighting with you about.
Right.
Nigga, we ain't got time for that. We dying out here. We dying out here. And I want to fight with you over what? Not at all, man.
A color.
A color. A color. But the white man walk with whatever color he want to, and don't nobody say a damn thing to him.
Right.
He in the most gang infested neighborhood wearing all the wrong colors.
Right.
And nobody don't say a damn thing to him.
Right.
We fear him.
So let him pass.
Yep, let him pass. He's gangster.
Right.
But we don't fear the Lord. That's what we need to fear. We need to fear the Lord.
That's
And what's
right.
going to happen to us if we don't? I know you pulled that scripture, but drop that Amos scripture. Let's get back to Deuteronomy, man. Because as a matter of fact, I'm about to tell you where I think it's going to be at 15. Start at 15. So, and I want to go to 15 because I want to show real quick, and I'm going to just pull a couple more scriptures, and about 3 more scriptures, and we're going to shut class down. And, I know it's late. I know brothers and sisters is tired, but I just want to show you how these scriptures truly do relate to us.
Right.
Pull Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Come on, I got it.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse
So
15.
Deuteronomy 28 and 1 is Moses telling you all the glorious things that's going to happen if you do serve the Lord. And that's what we're trying to get back to. We're trying to get back to the glorious things. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is just me. And I ain't trying to scare you off or, freak you out. But me and my brothers, we want rulership.
Right.
We know that we were slaves. We know that our forefathers were slaves. And the scriptures say this: what goes around comes around. We used to think this was black wisdom. This is biblical. The scriptures say, listen, he who is first shall be last, and the last shall be first. He said the roles are going to be reversed. He said Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning.
Right.
He said he who leads into captivity shall go.
Right.
We were led into captivity. So guess what? Me and my brothers, we know we going to have slaves.
So lucky, if I
Go ahead.
could also add on to that, he that slays with the sword shall be slain with the
Listen,
sword.
everything that they did to us, the scriptures say repay him double.
Right.
Everything. So listen, this ain't my words. This is the Bible. I ain't trying to freak you out, but this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Me and my brothers is doing this because we want rulership.
Right.
We want the kingdom. I don't want my brothers and sisters to suffer. I'm tired of seeing my community strung out on drugs.
Right.
Our people been on drugs for years. Nobody gave a damn. The second the so-called opioid epidemic hit the white neighborhood and it was snorting crystal meth left and right, all of a sudden
The world cared.
Yeah, the world cared. It is opioid commercials everywhere. They open up opioid clinics. Your insurance covered it. You got Obamacare.
Right.
Come on down, Mr. White Man. We'll get you into a clinic. But the whole time he was suffering off it, nobody gave a damn. It's just say no.
Right.
Say no, black people.
It's only when it's convenient for them.
Right? And we don't get it. But that's a curse. Let's get it in Deuteronomy.
Colonel Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass.
It shall what?
But it shall come to pass.
Cut it down. So this is talking about all the things that's going to happen if we don't serve the Lord. Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
You don't want to listen to the Lord? No sweat. Go ahead.
to observe and to do all his
No,
commandments,
just do the ones you want to do.
to do all his commandments,
Some of them.
to do all his commandments,
Just the 10 commandments.
all his
You got
commandments,
to do everything the Lord said to do.
all his
Don't
commandments.
pick and choose. I don't pick and choose. There's a lot of things that I don't want to do, but I have to.
Right,
I have to. That's the only way that we're going to get up out this captivity.
right.
Keep going.
And his statutes,
Mm-hmm.
which I command thee this day,
I'm right. Keep going.
that all these curses shall be upon thee
Keep going.
and overtake thee.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
I got a question. Who does that sound like? Huh? Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Now, we just got through reading a story about Black Wall Street. The Black Wall Street was a city. That city is no longer here. That
Right,
city was cursed. That city was destroyed.
right,
That sounds like a curse to me. That city got so many black people dead that they really don't know the true number. But instead of saying it was a lot and we don't know the number, they said it was about 30 to 75 to 300. It's somewhere in there, niggers. Who knows?
They really
But I
had to
can
put in-
definitely tell you without a shadow of a doubt that over 6 million Jewish people died in the Holocaust.
right.
I can tell you them numbers, but I can't tell you about Black Wall Street,
They made sure to put a number on us.
right? Come on, man. Keep going. And cursed shall thou be in the field. We were in that field picking cotton, picking tobacco.
Right,
We were cursed in that field.
right,
They didn't care about you dropping dead. And now, listen, they didn't care if that little baby old enough to walk, he old enough to pick cotton.
right.
Keep going.
Verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Once more, I'll use Black Wall Street for an example. The basket is for the food. You get what I'm saying? The store is the business.
Right,
All our businesses are shut down. Martin Luther King tricked us into marching to be able to eat in a white man's restaurant. We got rid of all our businesses.
right,
Where are our stores now? Where is the prominent, dominant black business?
right.
It don't exist. It's cursed. Keep going.
Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land.
What does the fruit of thy body mean? I'll help you out with the scriptures. The Lord said, be fruitful and what? And multiply. What is the fruit of thy body? Your kids. Be fruitful and multiply. The fruit of thy body. Keep going. And the fruit of thy land. So this is talking about your kids and your if you got a farmland, harvest, all that, none of that's gonna build any fruit. You get what I'm saying? Like that's like when you get a big lump sum of money, it's fruitful. Like, man, we about to go splurge, we about to do our thing. But if it ain't no fruit, we can't do none of that. Let's keep going.
And the fruit of thy land.
Thy land, whatever property you own, keep going.
The increase of thine kind.
Mhm.
And the flocks of thy sheep.
Kind of talk about like your animals, your chickens, your cows, stuff like that. The sheep, of course. Keep going.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in,
Mm-hmm.
and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
You can't go anywhere. How many times have you went to your store or something and you walking around and being followed? We just seen it in movies, Menace to Society. Hurry up and buy it.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't have anything. We cursed when we coming in, when we leaving out. The city, wherever, it don't matter.
Right.
You can't go anywhere. Keep going.
Verse 20.
Karens is everywhere.
Right. Karens and Darrens everywhere.
Right.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing vexation, and rebuke
Mm-hmm.
in all that thou settest thine hand upon for to do.
Right. It don't matter what we trying to do, man. It's like we can't. You ever hear that old saying black people used to say, man, I can't win for losing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you be trying to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, I can't win for losing, especially when you first coming up out of whatever wicked life you was living. I know for me, like I used to be in the streets all the time. You know what I'm saying? You to stop hustling and all of that. You trying to do the right thing. That was me. I felt like I couldn't win for losing. Everything that happened to me, boy. Lord, why?
Right.
Why me? Like I didn't understand it, but I never
Right.
knew these scriptures either.
Right.
Never knew them. I never knew these scriptures. Yeah, spun gad. I'll call him back in a minute. Let's drop down a couple of. Let's go to. I want to see the
22.
I'm trying to put a one about the kids. No, the 22
This
is
fevers, consumptions,
yeah,
and
that's about us. Now, of course, not following the food laws. That's why we're number one in like diabetes. That's why we're number one in health conditions all the time because we don't follow the food laws.
right.
Like the book of Leviticus tells us what to eat, what not to eat.
Right.
When we, you know what I'm saying? Like I talk to people all the time. I can't give up my pork chops. Yeah, that's okay. You're gonna give it up eventually when you die.
Right.
The Lord gonna put you to death for that, man. Like we ain't supposed to be eating that stuff, man. We got strict laws that we're supposed to eat, and we think that you don't want me to eat the good stuff. No,
Right.
it's not that. It's that it's to save your life. You can't be eating that pork. Man, I done seen them do tests on porks up under the microscope, man. You ever see all that stuff to be in it? Man, all them worms.
All the
and-
parasites in the
man,
mug.
and it don't matter. I done seen them after they cook them and
Right.
still put it up under the microscope. It's all type of parasites and everything in there. A pig will eat whatever you give it.
It's literally the
Yeah.
recycling bin of the world.
Right, it's a garbage disposal.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
just
there.
feed it anything and it eats it.
A pig will eat a dead body.
It'll eat its own kind.
Yeah.
You chop up another pig and throw it in there, it's gonna eat it.
You ain't even gotta chop it up.
Right?
You just throw it in there. A pig will eat a dead body,
Right?
and then you turn around and eat that pig. What do you think you just ate?
Everything that it
You just
Just ate a
dead
corpse.
body, right? Like, that, so that's what that scripture's going into. And there's so much in Deuteronomy, man. I wanted to pull the one where it talks about the kids. I can't find it right now, but I do drop down to 37,
What does it say about the kids?
where it talks about how your kids is going to be taken from you, and you ain't going to have no strength in your hands to do anything about it. And that talks about that's the slavery scripture, as well as a scripture for today, where because they are so quick to try to snatch
I think I got it.
black kid. Go ahead.
32.
32.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
That's
Keep
it.
going.
Come on. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. It's lucky. Chapter 28, verse 32.
Keep going.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Right. That's us going into captivity. And I'm going to prove it again with another scripture. Keep going.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Like, man, our kids went into slavery. We can do nothing about it. We all seen the movie Roots. You know what I'm saying? Like you seen that movie and got mad. You ready to bust a head.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? But the power in our hands weren't there to do nothing about it. Even to this day, man, I see so many black kids being took into CPS and the system and stuff like that, as well as, like I said, right now to this day, that the ICE organization, they got kids locked up on the borders, Mexican kids locked up on the borders.
And not to mention they losing them. They just losing kids.
They ain't losing them, they selling them, and they raping them, and they killing them.
Right.
They ain't losing them. That's what they said. How the hell you got them locked up under 24-hour surveillance, and all of a sudden, little Jose went missing?
Right.
Don't make sense. Don't make sense.
No,
The
that's
camera
heavy when
just
you
so
put-
happened to block out at this time.
Now that's heavy when you put it like that, because like we've been hearing a bunch about the sex trafficking and all that.
Right. They selling
Like
them
kids coming up missing.
They selling them kids.
Right.
They selling them kids. Drop down the
You want the rest of this?
drop that. Yeah. I want to get this one real quick.
Come on.
Because so we get the concept to that one at 32. Like we ain't gonna have no strength or nothing to stop our kids from going into slavery.
Right.
Drop down to 41 real quick.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them,
You shall have sons and daughters, and you don't get to enjoy them. Keep going.
for they shall go into captivity.
We're the only people that suffers like this. Like I said, right now, to this day, ICE. We all knew about ISIS when it was the immigrant agency where they supposed to be getting illegal immigrants. They only targeted one nation of people, and that was the Mexicans. They didn't get none of these Arabs. They didn't get none of these Chinese. They didn't get none of these Africans. They
Right.
only targeted one group of people, and that was Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They only targeted us. They didn't target nobody else. You're
Right.
trying to tell me that the Mexicans is the only illegal immigrants over here?
Right.
Muhammad at the gas station ain't an illegal immigrant? That's what you're trying to tell me?
Right.
Every time you go in there, it's a new one working,
So Jarab ain't an immigrant.
right? Come on with the jokes, man. You go to Chinatown, you're trying to tell me none of them are illegal immigrants?
Right.
They only targeted one group of people. Why? Because we are the people in these curses.
All right.
Let's go to 37 real quick, and we're going to end with this one.
Come on. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37.
Right.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
Now, I got a question. There's not a nigga everywhere on the face of this goddamn earth.
Right.
It don't matter where a black person is at. You a nigga no matter where you go. You a nigga, you a monkey, you a coon, whatever. Read that, take that from the top again.
So, Luck, if I could, real
Go ahead.
quick, it's funny, but it's screwed up to the max
It's
when
the
you
truth.
say it. No, because
It's the truth. That's how you know that we are the Jews of the Bible. Because it don't matter where you go on the face of this planet, you are an astonishment, you are a proverb, you are a byword.
right,
What does it mean, astonishment? You know what I'm saying? Like, even to this day, people, the things that you go through, people, I can't believe that happened to him.
right,
Couldn't be me. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Couldn't be
Proverb.
me.
Proverb, what does that mean? A saying. Like, you got Chinese people going, what's up, my nigga?
Right,
You get what I'm saying? And then a byword, the same thing. Whenever a Karen or a Kevin get mad at you, they call you that N-word.
and make sure to let that out.
Mm-hmm. Like, it don't matter where you are on the face of this planet. You could be in China. In fact, China was just tweeting stuff about the black basketball players.
Right,
They calling them all type of N-words. Man, they don't give a damn. It's only one group of people to fit this description. Like I said, Kanye didn't even call the Jewish man a derogatory term.
right,
He simply said that he wasn't a real Jew, and it was considered hate speech.
right.
They canceled him. Nigga, they took his...
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, let's say me and this brother's in business, right? I got $100 in my pocket. We get into it and we're no longer in business. How do I not have $100 in my pocket? It was in my pocket when we was in business. So if Kanye West was a billionaire, right? Before he said the Jewish man ain't the real Jew and the black man is the real Jew, how the hell, if he was a billionaire before this, how is he not a billionaire now? Like, where does money go?
Right,
Nobody can. I need somebody to explain this. The math ain't mathing, right?
right.
Like, how did they just? Where does $1 billion go? If he was a billionaire before, how is he not a billionaire now?
Right.
That's an astonishment to me. We the only people that happens to, because it don't matter what these devils do. What's the one devil that was running around raping everybody? He is a TV host or something. It's the devil,
I
man.
think I know you're
Harvey
talking
Weinstein,
about. Yep,
right?
that's exactly what it is.
Whatever his net worth was before he got accused of raping everybody, his net worth was still the same after he got fired. That one devil, Jeffrey Epstein, that stole billions of dollars, he got locked up with his billions of dollars.
Right,
Where did his money go? He died with it. He
right,
supposedly killed himself, but he really didn't. That's
right.
another story for another day. He had a bunch of secrets and dirty secrets and videos of all these other devils in Hollywood, had all these secrets, them raping little kids on camera, so they had to all film in a prison because there's no reason
Sheesh.
why a billionaire should die in prison.
Right,
Said he hung himself. That's what they say, of course. Said the same thing about Breonna Taylor. So we know their oppressor and how they move. We know their MO. But this scripture right here is a hardcore scripture because the Deuteronomy 28:37, we are the astonishment, we are the proverb, we are the byword, and we're like that amongst all the other nations, no matter where we at. Go ahead. I know you had something you want to say.
I was going to add on to what you were saying about the scripture, man, because like I said, I found it's funny, but it's extremely screwed up, man. Because I remember scrolling through Instagram a while ago, and it was just like a random post that I had scrolled past. It was talking about how the Jewish man was calling, niggas monkeys. And
Right.
I was low-key offended. And this is the reason why. I'm not offended that you called me a monkey.
He was
I'm
acting like
offended-
Freezer
I'm
off of
a-
Dragon Ball Z.
I'm offended the fact that you couldn't just call me a nigga flat out. You had to call me a monkey.
Right.
Like, if you're going to call me a nigga, call me a nigga. Call it as it is.
He said it a city in orangutan.
Yeah. You cold cricket. That is
Right.
it. And he just jumped the racist gun tenfold.
Right, he just went there. but that goes to show you that we are in these curses, man.
Right.
We are the ones in these curses, man. And like I said, man, it goes deep, man. Like this Bible right here, this Bible not only did it change my life, but it saved my life because I never learned none of this in the Christian church.
Right.
Only thing I learned in the Christian church was how to love everybody,
How to be a good
how to
slave.
love all the people that's killing me.
Right.
Love, no matter what they do to you, love the enemy.
Right.
But in the same breath, even though they teaching me that, they was also teaching me to hate black people.
Right.
And I just didn't get it. I couldn't read between the lines. They wanted me to love the white man and hate my brothers and sisters. If I was still in that Christian church, I wouldn't give a damn about none of y'all.
Right.
That's how I was programmed in the Christian church. Pretend like I love you. Pretend like I care. But do absolutely nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love this organization. It saved my life and it taught me how to love my brothers and sisters. Go ahead, please.
Also, like I was going to add on to what you were saying. Not only would I learn not to love y'all, I would learn to even hate all y'all.
Right?
Every single last one of y'all, we'd hate the crap out of all y'all,
For no
and look
reason.
at y'all as our enemies.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have no problems with the white man.
Right.
No matter how many unarmed black kids get gunned down while white school shooters are taken alive.
Right.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. Dylan Storm Roof, taken alive. Kyle Rittenhouse, taken
And
alive.
to us, he had been a hero.
Right? Tamir Rice, gunned down.
Right.
Tamir Rice, he had a toy gun. Not a real gun, a toy gun. They knew it was a goddamn toy gun. The lady that called in the police call said it was a toy gun.
But yeah,
Said he's at the park with a toy gun.
right.
A toy gun. And they still pulled up. And in less than 3 seconds, they pulled up, hopped out, killed him. There is no way that I can pull up, hop out, give you a command, you not follow the command, and I kill you within 3 seconds. That's what happened.
Right.
Mike Brown, gunned down by police, unarmed. 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 But somehow, Dylan Storm Roof was taken alive after he murdered 10 people in a church.
Right.
10 people. Not only was he taken alive, but they took him to get a burger and fries and a pop.
Right.
They took him to get something to eat before they took him to jail. He ain't even had to snitch on nobody.
Right.
He didn't have to give him no evidence. They took him to get something to eat. They love their own. I seen a clip, man, and I'm about to bring this clip, put it back on Facebook, let it circulate, where it was some little white kids. The little white boy said, I'm a Grand Theft Auto this bitch. That's what he said. Had
Jesus
guns,
Christ.
a car, shot it out with the police. You can see the police on this camera praying, please, God, I don't want to have to kill this kid. Please, God, please, I don't want to have to kill him. Just put the gun down. Like he begging and pleading not to kill this little white kid. Little white kid out the car, out the window like it's really San Andreas.
Like he living his life. He doing his thing.
They shot him in the leg and took him alive. But somehow our kids are always gunned down. Shinyar, what's that brother name that got killed in his own house?
That would be Donovan Lewis.
Donovan Lewis. Police kicked in his door. Wrong house, might I add.
Right.
Wrong house. Search warrant for the wrong house. Kicked in his door. Had a police dog. Had a dog. Never let the dog loose. Kicked in his bedroom door.
At like 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning. Kicked in the bedroom door. Opened the door. Bah! Shot him in his own house. Wrong house. Nobody said nothing.
Right.
Cop didn't get fired. No justice. That's what happens to our kids.
Right.
But the white school shooters get taken alive. Only way a white school shooter dies is if he kills himself.
Yeah.
That's how
Even
it-
if he got hostages. They find some way to get them hostages out and catch that devil
I
alive.
can't remember that devil that shut up the grocery store in Buffalo. They took him alive. They took him alive.
After he killed how many black people?
Like 14.
I seen the video where he was like, when you see that white man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's like, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Hey, he was in his mind. He was playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
In his mind, he was playing Call of Duty. He's running through there. Hit the dude, seen the corner. The white guy said, "Oh God, please no!"
Right.
He said, "Oh, sorry." Went off and double tapped everybody else. They took him alive. He took him alive. He came out with ARs everywhere. He came out like Rambo. Took him alive. But somehow they ain't figured out the secret to taking black people alive. Unarmed black people, might I add, that has not committed any kind of violent crime whatsoever.
Select.
They kill black men that have child support warrants. Y'all know that, right? Black men with child support warrants, they kill them. Go ahead.
So like a brother on here said, Botham Jean.
Botham, oh man, forgot about that brother. His brother hugged the devil that killed him. The cop got caught lying, saying she thought it was her house. They said she never knew him. They showed pictures of him hugged up with her with all their little white friends.
I couldn't imagine that. Me personally, I wouldn't be able to mentally handle that. Sitting in a courtroom, right? So just hypothetically, let's just say this. Someone offs you, right?
Damn it.
Someone offs you, right?
Right.
And I'm in the courtroom sitting,
Question.
sitting.
Question. Did I take anybody with me?
Yes, you murdered a bunch of people.
All
with
right,
you.
all right. I can look at
But
that.
by some chance, someone snuck attacked you and
Right.
offed you.
Right.
They somehow got past you and somehow got to you. We sit in the courtroom. I got my sister next to me, and she gets up and hugs someone. I couldn't mentally be able to picture that. I would lose it. Seeing the same person.
You wouldn't forgive the devil that killed me, Shinya? Why not? God loves everybody, right?
I'm an atheist.
Yeah, right.
I'm an atheist.
Hey, listen.
So what was that one meme? God may forgive you, but I won't.
Right. And here's the thing: when we hear that, you know what I'm saying, forgive your enemies. What we got to remember is that that's talking about us amongst each other.
Right.
Because the fact of the matter is this: don't nobody hate black people more than black people.
That's right.
We hate each other.
It's a sad truth.
Because we don't have that same energy for the oppressor at all, man.
Right.
We don't, man. And I forgot about Botham Jean. His brother got up and hugged that cop that murdered his brother.
Man, that's sick.
Lied all on the camera stand. And then she got sentenced to 3 years and appealed it. I think it was 3 years, and she appealed it, talking about it was too much time.
I told you, white women's tears is precious than anything.
And it's more precious than diamond and gold.
Right? I told you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some white woman tears and put them inside of a jar, throw them on my neck.
Start selling them.
Right?
Start selling white woman tears.
Man, yo.
Overnight. Because as soon as a white woman start crying, all of a sudden,
Everybody has
Everybody's
remorse.
so sorry. I remember the goddamn judge got up and hugged her. Y'all
Right.
remember that? Did y'all remember that trial? Where that cop, where Botham Jean, his brother hugged the devil. It was two black women. One was a judge, the other was the bailiff. The bailiff hugged her, the judge hugged her, the bailiff sitting up there playing with her hair during the trial. It was just disgusting. This is the love that we have for these people.
Right.
We don't have none of that love for each other. So you do something to me, I'm at your throat because I've been wired that way.
Right.
We don't have forgiveness for one another. We only have forgiveness for the people who's enslaved us, man. Y'all know what that's called, right? Stockholm Syndrome.
Yep.
We got to get over that.
And you got none but love for the same people that's been robbing, raping, torturing, murdering, and pillaging you.
Right, man.
It ain't stopped since.
That's why this Bible is so important, man. And with that, man, we about to end the class, man. Like I said, I'm sorry I talked your ears off, man. Does anybody have any questions about anything we went over today?
It's not none
Y'all have any
sweat.
questions about?
It's gonna come.
Hey, listen, don't worry. If y'all got questions later on, just reach out, man. Our doors is always open. This is not the Christian church. One of the reasons I came out the Christian church is because I was always told don't ask no questions.
Right.
Was I the only one that was told that in the Christian church?
Now, I remember
When
that.
you ask the Christian pastor something, he'd be like, you don't question God.
Even
Yeah.
8-year-old me had questions.
Yeah, I had questions. I was one of them crazy kids in the church. I had questions about the angels. I had questions about dinosaurs. I had questions about God.
Right.
I had questions about the giants. I had questions about everything.
Right.
I was told don't ask none of them questions. I came here and got all them questions answered.
Right.
I was told about aliens, dinosaurs, giants, God, everything. Every question I ever asked, it was answered here. And that's why, listen, and I'm going to carry on the traditions since 1969. Y'all got any questions about anything? Answer. Ask them, and we will answer.
That's
If I can't answer them, I will direct you to somebody who can. If he can't, he will direct you to somebody who can. He's going to keep going on up and up until we get to Commander Junior Hunter. If Commander Junior Hunter, the only person that can answer it, he's going to tell you. He's going to get it answered for you, man.
That's right.
And that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. And with that being said, man, I'm going to turn the class over, man. Let's do the announcements, the Lord's Prayer. Let's shut it down.
Come on. That's right. These announcements. ISHPK security announcements. We the ISHPK starting out at 1 West 125th Street, Home, New York. I'm Commander Junior Home, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she will give permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. After there's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandments, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department. Priest funds, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Head to the ISHPK.com website for any more information as far as how holy day is coming up. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all blood. Remind Akim or Akim Waf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all blood, boots, shirt, hats, headbands, or scarves. And with that being said, a majam, which means to rise. Wapunya Hakidum, which means to turn and face the east. You're going to be facing that way. Yep. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. So you're just going to be repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kudash, Hayah, Shimka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Thabaa, Ratazaka, Hayah, Asha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakam, Ko, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawatanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawatanawa, Wala'a, Saba'ayanawa, Vanasaya 1, Abo, Habashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwat, Wala Allah, Wataparth, Walandim, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sar, which means to turn.
Gracious salute to the brothers, men of Israel, amongst Shabbat, this is what we do. Amongst Barak,
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
And what you gonna say is Yahweh? Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak, Atah. Now what you said in the Hebrew is, Lord, in the name of the Most High, watch over you, brothers. That's Matah. A song, which means to stand, or Shabi, which means to stand. Song, which means to turn and face the sisters. Brothers, courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, amongst Shabbat. I'm Marshall. We're Rob.
Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah.
Now, if you walk into it real quick.
So you're gonna say Yahweh
Yahweh,
Shemar
Shamar,
Alathan
Alathan,
Ba'Shem
Bashem,
Yahweh Shah,
Yahusha.
which means Lord in the name of Christ, watch over you, sisters. Ajamatah, class dismissed.
Hand away.